الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله تعالى نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. ثم أما بعد. In this difficult time that our ummah going through, and this is not the first time, our ummah went through difficult times many times, and our ancestors آباؤنا وأجدادنا were able to manage the crisis that they have, beginning with establishing of Islam, and then how they fought the Persian and the Roman, and then the Mughal, al-Maghul, al-Tatar, and then the Crusades or the Crusaders, and they manage, And of course we have to understand that as long as you are with haqq, as long as you are Muslim, you will go through this struggle all the time. And it's so easy to leave everything you believe in and live your life easy and you don't care and life is good and you have fun. It's a choice we make. But to resist, to stand with haqq, to go through difficult time, to maintain Islam and to implement Islam in your life is something not easy. It's not easy. But the problem is that sometimes we question what to do all the time. How to change, even at home when people fight together with the family issues, they don't know how to manage internally. We don't know what to do. And it seems that we lost some of the common sense, al-fitra, the basic knowledge, the basic analysis, And sometimes, علماء said ما كان أصلا لا يسأل عن سببه. When we have something that it is the basics, it is the fundamentals, And this is why the male in Arabic, we don't add تاء مربوطة. How to say مدرس, مدرسة, Muslim, مسلمة. Because Muslim or مذكر is the أصل, هو الأصل. والأصل لا يسأل عن سببه. We don't ask about the root, why it is this way. Because it is this way. So sometimes the basic principles, if we lose them, then we are in big trouble. Because, every human should have the basics. He should have the common sense. You should be able to know that, when you see fire and it's too much heat, you don't go in. You don't touch fire. You don't go close to an animal that, wild animal that may attack you. Basics. And what really hurt us right now, that sometimes, many times, and it's usually now, that people ask about these basics. And one of the basics I will tell you today is what we recite every day, Surah Al-Fatiha. That if we spend our life just talking about Surah Al-Fatiha, it will not be enough. And again, what we do, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala every single day, at least 17 times if we play only fard, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. Oh Allah, guide us to الصراط المستقيم, to the straight path. So we're looking for hidayah. This is what we say. هذا ما يخرج من أفواهنا. This is what comes out of our mouth, that we ask Allah for hidayah. But what we do to gain this hidayah? Nothing. الهداية نوعان. الهداية is two types. هداية التوفيق وهداية الإرشاد. The hidayah, the guidance, is two types. One is the knowledge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make hidayat al-irshad, guidance, normal knowledge for every human to know. Everyone will get this hidayah. That to know that Allah is one. Everyone will know. Every human. Sometimes what about an island that have some people that they never meet someone, nobody explained to them about Tawheed? This is not your issue. Okay, if you live in this island, we'll discuss this. But if you don't live in this island, it's not your issue. See, we lose the basic. We think about what we cannot do and leave what we know, what we do. Allah is adil, Allah is just, Allah is the Malik, the King, Allah is powerful. He will give them by some means He knows that I don't know. The hidayah, to know that Allah is one, Allah is the creator. Then the second type of hidayah, hidayah al-tawfiq, which is hidayah al-amal, the hidayah of action. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give support, will choose some people, will help them to actually go through this hidayah, to implement what they know. And there's a beautiful analogy, GPS. If you go to someone, you ask him for the address. You don't need to use the maps, the old maps that we used to have 15 or 20 years ago, and you plan your trip before you travel. Now you punch the address. So right away, you will get the route from your location to the destination. So this is hidayatul irshad. You know how to go there. You have the road map. Even if the road, there is a construction or delay or accident, Google radiallahu anhu will give you another path to reduce the time and so on. So you know how to go there now. This is hidayatul irshad. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give all human this hidayah. Then the second type of hidayah is actually to start. When you start your trip and you follow, after 1 kilometer turn right, take 401, then 400 north. And the more you stick to the instruction coming out from GPS, okay, or Google Map or Maps or any map you use, you will reach your destination because you follow it 100%. You don't choose not to do. And this is hidayat al-tawfiq, hidayat al-amal. Without the two, without to know what to do, and without to do what you know, we will not be able to achieve anything in our life. Period. And everything else will be wishful thinking. We can cry and outcry all the time about what's happening in Palestine and what's happening between Pakistan and Hindustan. And we can cry about Kashmir. We can cry about Philippines. We can cry about Africa. We can cry about the native people. But if we don't have this basic knowledge of what happened and what's happening and the steps to change this condition of our ummah, will not be able to make anything. So message number one, it is an action after knowledge. علم يتبعه عمل. Knowledge followed by an action. It's not only just, oh, mashallah, I make YouTubes, mashallah. I write on Facebook. You know, write as much as you can on the virtual world. You can go to a virtual world and buy land, buy fancy cars, marry, have children, but it will be only in your dreams. And this is why many people, because they lost the basics, we cannot eat virtual meat. We cannot marry virtual women. You know, you need physical people to deal with. We live in a society. You cannot live in a bubble you made out of your digital world. هذا العالم الافتراضي الوهمي. Your friends, that when you're in trouble, you need them and will come and support you, is or are your friends, your relatives, your human, insane. No one will jump from the internet to give you hand. It's a source of information, that's it. But it's not a way of life. That you put yourself inside this virtual bubble and think life is good. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught us in the Quran. And I will just take two examples about hidayah. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the beginning of Surah Al-Baqarah about hidayah. Alif Lam Mim. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. Allah said, this kitab, book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Quran, no doubt in it, or no doubt has guidance, hidayah for al-muttaqeen. So to get the hidayah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, number one description is to be from al-muttaqeen. To gain the hidayah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with the two types, هداية الرشاد وهداية التوفيق. هداية العلم وهداية العمل. The hidayah of knowing and hidayah of doing have to come for those who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah in their mind. Allah is the reference. If Allah said this is halal, we'll do it. If Allah said this is haram, we'll not do it. Even if we fall in a sin, we don't change haram to halal or halal to haram. We say, oh Allah, I am human, I am a weak person and I made a mistake, oh Allah forgive me. But the principle is still the same. Halal is halal, haram is haram. The reference of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not change. And this will happen only for those who have taqwa, fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Build a protection barrier between you and the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if we don't have this taqwa, we will not have hidayah. If we don't have taqwa, we will not be able to change the condition of the ummah. You will not be able to change the condition of yourself. Because taqwa is not only just to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to cry at night. Taqwa is a concept of life. To have this, what we call in engineering, safety margin. When you take a precautions, when you take extra mile. If you're driving your car, you don't stay behind another car in front of you, just bumper to bumper. You leave a distance. This distance is taqwa. And many accidents happen because people who drive, they don't have taqwa. Meaning they don't leave space between them, because sometimes they have to brake all of a sudden because life has a lot of issues and people will brake people will have conflict, people will have problems, so sometimes they have to break. So when they break, they don't go into accident because they have taqwa. When we build houses, you know how many times building collapse because we live in Canada and we have snow. So civil engineers, may Allah bless with them, when they build houses, they know how much snow will get in a season. And they say, okay, we'll get 1 ton or 10 ton, whatever. So they build the roof to withstand or can take 3 times, 5 times of snow. This is why we feel safe. Otherwise, we'll be all the time under collapsed roofs. When lawyers write a contract, they don't write a contract for good people, honest people. They all the time think about, you know, the crooked one that will try to find a gap in the law. And they will start to write all the precautions to protect you as a normal person. Otherwise, we don't need a legal system, we don't need judges. Abu Bakr wa Umar radiallahu anhu, Abu Bakr was the Khalifa, and he appointed Umar to be the Qadi, the judge of Medina. And after 1 year, Umar went to Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he said, I am jobless. I'm the Qadi, I'm doing nothing. He said, what? He said, nobody comes to me. Everybody knows what his rights and what his duties. فيقوم المسلم بأداء واجبه ويؤدي ما عليه من حقوق. So there is no conflict. Everybody knows what he's doing. And this is not a fancy or a movie that we are talking about. This is what happened when Rasulullah sallam raised وَرَبَّ رِجَالًا مِنْ, that they know their rights. They don't need a judge, they don't need a legal system. So when we have this concept of taqwa in our life, we protect ourselves. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said this is haram, He don't stop on the haram limit. Allah said, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الزِّنَا. So zina is the haram. What about look, touch, talking, what we call مقدمات الزنا, introduction to zina? Allah said, قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يغضوا من أبصارهم ويحفظوا فروجهم. And the following ayah, وقل للمؤمنات يغضضن من أبصارهن ويحفظن فروجهن. Why we have to lower our gaze? Why we have to start with the look? The zina is still far, you know how we say it, like people, like European, they said look but don't touch. This is how they work. They said look but don't touch. So the wife will tell her husband, I am okay, you can see women as much as you can, or as many women you want to see, but look but don't touch. In Islam you said no. النظر الأولى لك والثانية علي. The first look is because you're walking in the street and you see a beautiful woman, say mashallah, and then the second one, a sin. Why? Because this will be the gate. Your eye is the gate for your heart. And the moment you fall in love of anything that you love, it starts with the look. Even with the ear. We have Bashar ibn Burd, one of the shu'ara, one of the poets in the Abbasi time. He was a blind man. And he was not a good person. كان من شعراء الفسوق والمجون. فأحب جارية. He loved a woman. And they told him, you are blind. How come you love this girl? So he told them, أذني لبعض الحي عاشقة والأذن تعشق قبل العين أحيانا. قالوا بمن لا ترى تهدي. فقلت لهم الأذن كالعين تؤتي القلب مكان. They told him that, how come you love someone that you didn't see? And he said, no, the eye and the ear, like vision and hearing, is a channel to the heart. And it gave the same, it will deliver the same message, which is love, to someone. And sometimes you hear about someone that you love him before you see him. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of taqwa, to teach us taqwa, He said, don't look. Don't touch is too far, but don't look. Why? Because this is taqwa. Otherwise, we will see, and then we want to talk, and then we want to touch, and then, So the taqwa, you want to have hidayah in your life, you want to know what to do, is have this protection from the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from hellfire, from an-nar. By having this taqwa, we'll have one element of hidayah that we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide all of us. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله ثم أما بعد. So number one is have taqwa. And this is an effort you can make. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you have taqwa, Allah said, إِن تَتَّقُوا اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَكُمْ فُرْقَانًا. If you have taqwa, Allah will give you furqan. You know what is furqan? It's a criteria to be able to know the difference between halal and haram, between right and wrong. If we don't have taqwa, we will not be able to differentiate. And you can see the societies around us. Some people, they don't care. They don't even know. So when you have taqwa, you will have furqan. You will have this ability to see different colors, mainly the two, right and left. The second element of hidayah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the Quran, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَمَعَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. And those who struggle for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will guide them to our ways, Allah path, or Sirat al-Mustaqim, the straight path. And Allah with those who have ihsan. They do everything in their in a perfect way according to the human level, which is not absolute ihsan. There is no absolute ihsan from human. But they do as much as they can. So Allah said, if you want to have hidayah, if you want Allah to give you which way to go in your life, in your marriage, in your business, in your school, struggle. Do the jihad, do the effort. We are lazy. We want everything for free. And alhamdulillah, because we are Muslims, we say, okay, I make dua. Let's make dua. Make dua. And dua is an important element and behavior of a Muslim. All the time to have connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is no doubt about it. But is it enough? If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَالَّذِينَ دَعَوْنَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا, and those who make dua to me, we will guide them to the straight path. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to do the effort. Allah wants you to struggle to make jihad with all means of jihad. So if you are under occupation, like our brothers in Palestine, so the Palestinian resistance have the right to make jihad by all means to defend their countries. Not only Muslims. When Hitler invaded France, our French brothers in humanity, they made jihad against the Nazi army. When Russia invaded Ukraine, all Europe and United States and Canada, they supported Ukraine because they make jihad against the Russian occupation. With the same logic, with the same basics, our Palestinian brothers in Palestine, in occupied Palestine, have the right to resist and to defend their countries, regardless the price. لأن الحرية لا ثمن لها. Freedom is priceless. And you choose. You want to be a free man or a slave? It's your choice. If some choose to be slaves, don't blame free men to choose to be free. Other people will make jihad with money. They support with money all the poor people, all the needy people, everyone who in need, they will support him with money. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all the time, those who make jihad بالنفس والمال. بأنفسكم وأموالكم. You make jihad with your life, with yourself, and with your wealth, your money. Also, jihad is not only, when you say an-nafs, is not only mean that you fight. No, jihad also means, as the Prophet said in one of the battles when he came back, he said, we came back from al-jihad al-asghar ila al-jihad al-akbar. We came back from the minor jihad to the major jihad. What is the major jihad? Is to make jihad against two, shaitan and your nafs. Shaitan is your enemy that wants you to go to hellfire. So you have to struggle with him all the time. This is the major, number one enemy that we have. إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ فَاتَّخُذُوهُ عَدُوًّا. This is what Allah said in the Quran. Shaitan is your enemy. You know where the mistake we do? That we don't take him as an enemy. Allah said, take the shaitan as an enemy. And then our desires, الشهوات. This is why, you know, the hadith of Prophet said, أكثر ما يدخل الناس الجنة, what the most thing that will take people to Jannah is التقوى وحسن الخلق. To have this fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then the good character, good behave, and so on. أخلاق, good manners. وأكثر ما يدخل الناس النار, the most thing that will take people to hellfire, الفم والفرج, mouth and private parts, meaning shahwat, desires. So when we make jihad against our own desires, against our, you know, we want women, we want children, we want gold, we want silver, we want horses, we want. One day, one of the Salihin walking in the market, and with one of his friends, and his friends keep buying. You know, when you go home and you find your wife buying stuff, said, do we need it? No, it was on sale. We buy because it is on sale. It's not we buy because we need something. No, we buy because it is on sales. You know, see, basics. We lost the sense of basics. So he told him, أَكُلَّمَا اشْتَهَيْتْ اشْتَرَيْتْ. Everything you see and you desire, you buy. You have no control of your desires. This is why we make siyam. To control, to teach us, to learn how to control our desires, our nafs. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, those who make jihad, we will guide them. So Allah, in these two beautiful ayah, to get the hidayah that we say in Surah Al-Fatiha every day, ihdina, you have to have taqwa. You have to fear your Lord. You have to be mindful of your Lord. What please your Lord and what make your Lord angry from you. I'm sorry, I don't like the word Lord. Say Rabb. What make your Rabb not happy with you? What make your Rabb angry with you? This is your main thing. And number two is, your Rabb told you to do something. What do? Go, run and do it. Actions is not only words that we say. And this is why today, inshallah, mashallah, I give you khutbah, and I'm saying this. Maybe I need it more than you. Our conditions will not change. I said words, and you listen to words. أنا قلت كلمات وأنتم استمعتم إلى كلمات. And after 100 khutbah, I will repeat the same. I say words, and you listen to words. Nothing changed. So when I repeat a khutbah, I don't want anyone to be upset because it doesn't mean anything. If we don't take the khutbah, you and me, not only you, both of us, if we didn't take the khutbah, what we read, into actions, into amal, to change the condition of yourself, your family, your community, and then your ummah, nothing will change. وَالْعِلْمُ يُنَادِي بِالْعَمَلِ وَإِلَّا فَارْتَحَلْ. The knowledge, ilm, will call amal, will call actions. Come, stay with me. So we have ilm and amal. We have ilm, knowledge, and actions. If the amal doesn't come, knowledge will leave. علم سيرحل. سيرحل العلم. So we keep saying اهدنا كلمات, words. اهدنا. Without taqwa and jihad will not gain the hidayah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to put in our hearts taqwa and put in our life taqwa from Him subhanahu wa ta'ala and from hellfire. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among the mujahideen for His sake and all our work to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number one and number two and the last one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قل إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين. My salah, my action of ibadah, my life, my death is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not for dunya, not to please people, not to be happy, not to be cool with your friends, with your relatives, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us Jannah and give victory to our brothers in Palestine. اللهم يا رب العالمين نسألك في هذا اليوم العظيم أن تغفر لنا ذنوبنا وأن تكفر عنا سيئاتنا وأن تتوفنا مع الأبرار. اللهم املأ قلوبنا بحبك وحب من أحبك وحب كل عمل يقرب إلى حبك. اللهم اجعلنا من المتقين واجعلنا من المهتدين واهدنا الصراط المستقيم. اللهم اجعلنا من المجاهدين يا رب العالمين في سبيلك. اللهم انصر إخواننا في فلسطين نصرا عزيزا مؤزرا عاجلا غير آجل يا رب العالمين. اللهم أهلك عدوك وعدوهم. اللهم إنهم قد طغوا في البلاد وأكثروا فيها الفساد فصب عليهم ربنا صوت عذاب. اللهم من أرادنا والإسلام والمسلمين بخير فوفقه إلى كل خير ومن أرادنا والإسلام والمسلمين بشر فاجعل كيده في نحره. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين في كل زمان وفي كل مكان. اللهم اغفر لآبائنا وأمهاتنا إلى أبينا آدم وأمنا حواء واهد ذرياتنا إلى يوم الدين. اللهم نسألك رضاك والجنة ونعوذ بك من سخطك والنار. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وقوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمني يرحمكم الله.